Good morning and welcome to our second episode of our Zero to Hero challenge on the Monk, where I am working towards 3400 IO and Mythic Plus as a returning player with a full-time job and not a whole lot of time. So last week we left off pulling this ring out of our vault. It's a 243 ring. That bumped us up to 234 eye level. So we went ahead and started the week off with our +2 Algathar Academy key that we got out of the vault. Playing a little bit of healer here. Just decided I wanted to kind of follow some other tanks through some of these dungeons, see what routes they were doing, how it felt. Also just kind of curious to see how Mistweaver felt for the expansion. We clear through this dungeon no problem, bringing us up to 331 IO and pulling 250 cuffs. So that puts us to 236. And like I said, we are at 331 IO right now. Time to go plug in that +5 Windrunner Spire. Going into here, we got this warrior that is kind of pumping for a +5. Peaking upwards of 300k DPS in certain spots. Get through Ember Dawn there, no problem. Again, going through here. Just kind of playing around with the Mistweaver. This all feels pretty good. We end up having the warrior death there. I think he just ripped a bunch of threat, but he's still doing a ton of damage. If you are still here watching the video, I just want to say thank you so very much. I was super surprised at how well the first episode of this series did. So if you did watch that, thank you so much. If you did subscribe, thank you so much. It was insane. I think it's super cool that got such a positive reaction and had so much interaction on it. Again, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. You can see here, again, warrior.
Fading shout.
Right here, the warrior steals a feather right in front of me. I should have been paying a little bit better attention, but I end up dying while the boss is still at like 55% health. The rest of the team gets through this. I'm just going to fast forward it a little bit. They end up getting it killed. Lose a couple more guys. That's all right. They get through it. Finish off the boss, get a +2 out of that, upgrade vault to 263, bringing our IO score to 561, and squat for loot. Go ahead and plug in our Magister's Terrace. That's a +9. First big pull here. Watching this, you can see that I keep reaching to try to silence some of these enemies, and it's interesting that when you're looking at, because I'm just pulling talent trees out of like u.gg or Archon or wherever, and I didn't even realize it until this point that I didn't have interrupt, because a lot of the higher level monks are, or Mistweavers specifically, are not taking interrupts in these dungeons. Ends up being rough in some of these cases.
Ignition.
Can't ring a piece that guy. Not very smart of me, but had to try. So you can see, and this will be a reoccurring theme for the rest of this dungeon, people are not popping defensives. They are standing in swirlies, circles, and I'm getting blamed for not doing enough healing. Par for the course, how it goes, which I'm not saying I'm playing this perfectly or even good by any means. I'm getting out healed by the bear tank right now, which I feel like is probably kind of par for the course, but again, we're just not getting any interrupts off, taking damage.
Ignition.
As we just continue to die. But we get back. We keep it rolling.
Flame strike.
Oh, yeah.
Ignition.
Get onto the first boss here, and we just don't do a great job of positioning, which is okay. It's understandable. It's not the biggest deal, but it's hard to get the swirlies or get the circles that are coming in, the orbs that are coming in, when you have to walk through another danger zone. People just end up taking a bunch of damage here. We can't eat the orbs as they come in, end up dying, and then of course we just end up wiping. At this point, they abandon and are blaming me for not being able to do enough healing. Again, I'm sure I made a million mistakes on that, but that's okay. That's unfortunate. Of all the slots like I could have got, that's pretty unfortunate that that's what we got. But out of this weekly vault, then we end up pulling a 269 chest, which is a good upgrade for us, and it's a heavy stat item. It's just one of my higher level items that I have right now, so it would have been nice to pull something else that maybe would have been a better eye level upgrade, but that's okay. I figure at this point it's time to put my big boy pants on, start doing a little bit of tanking. So we go ahead and we jump in here to this Algathar Academy. I'm not gonna do a bunch of big crazy pulls, especially on these lower keys where we have all kinds of time. We should have plenty of damage to get through these keys and not have to worry about making time because of lack of big pulls. In my opinion, I would rather just play a little safe, make sure that we survive, make sure we're not doing crazy stuff that's gonna get us all killed. My game just crashed. You're shitting me. I'm thinking either my computer crashed or the game completely crashed. Luckily, it was just a disconnect. I was able to get right back in right away. They had already killed those mobs, so not a big deal. Go ahead, finish this pull off, and get ready for the boss. End up getting into the boss, no problem. Wipe out the first boss here and head to the next one.
Deafening screech.
Bird boss ends up going down, no problem.
Arcane expulsion.
You can see it kind of turned into just a little bit of a shit show here on the last boss. I probably should have done a better job of rotating around as we moved. I end up just pulling him all the way over to the other side. I kind of figured that we would do a better job of dodging circles and not taking a bunch of damage, but it's all right. Bumps us up to 927 rating. Nothing out of the chest, of course, never lucky. Next, we go ahead and plug in this +9 Sky Reach. Again, not doing any big crazy pulls, just still getting a feel for this here. I am feeling fairly undergeared because at this point I'm still fairly fairly low on the gear. I know I shouldn't be worried. It's really not that big of a deal. I definitely have the survivability. We can get through it, but especially with the rest of the team being probably a little over geared for the content. I don't know what kind of the general consensus is on like these kind of fights where there's like a decent amount of mobility, not a ton of damage coming through, but it's mostly avoidable. But I kind of enjoy those kind of fights where you're playing a little bit of a dance while playing the game. End up having a DC here. Thought maybe they would come back, didn't. I don't know if they left intentionally or just crashed. But we thought, we'll try to get through this, and as we come to find out, we just do not have the damage to get through this, and it takes forever. I want to say it's about 5 minutes, and we do not get this killed, but we fast forward through this here just to show it. Went ahead, put that +8 now Skyreach key in. This whole key, I forgot to record up to this point, but you can see we already have 7 deaths. We've had some deaths, and people are just having a hard time understanding that we don't want to kill the other birds right next to the other eggs. So I'm trying to ping to pull it all the way to the back and like stop damage, so that we don't pop it on another egg there, but they don't care. It's okay. We end up getting the boss killed, but it's crazy that we can't figure that out. Don't end up having any more deaths to the rest of the dungeon though, so get here to the last boss. Goes down relatively no problem. Frost Mage putting out some pretty decent damage there. Bumps us up to 1208 mythic rating. So this is kind of the point where we're going to start getting a decent amount of rating from these dungeons, because we're taking keys from, you know, dungeons where we either have 0 rating or very little, quite a ways up. End up pulling another chest here. Unfortunately, I already have the 269 chest. Traded that one off to the rogue, and we dropped this +9 Nexus point and get rolling. I want to say this is like either my maybe second time in Nexus point, because I think I had to do it once for the quest line. Still no real idea what's going on. Just trying to get through it. I messed up there. We didn't get those killed fast enough, and I end up taking ton of damage here. Luckily, I think the lust actually saved me, but get the mobs killed, get in here, do a bunch of damage.
Void Lash. Void Lash. Eclipsing Step.
Coming over to this side, I'm not gonna lie, I have like almost 0 idea what the hell is going on. But I am pretty sure you don't want to stand in the circles that are spawning on the floor that appear to be doing loads of damage. It's apparently a tough concept. I end up surviving till the rest of the team gets back here, and I do stand in one of the circles. Figured I would try it. Looked like a fun thing to do. Get through there, get the emissary killed. Going on to the next boss here. You can see we're killing this a little bit slowly. We're getting quite a bit of the room filled up with stuff. We already have 8 deaths at this point, so we're having a little bit of a hard time. We're not getting rid of lines, but it's okay. We make it through.
Divine Guile.
Now, with this being one of my first times here, I was not smart enough to get on the correct side of the boss, so I end up dying, and then the rest of the team ends up wiping. We don't get the battle res out quite in time. They come over to get the battle res on me here in just a second. Of course, it's already too late. I don't know if they just didn't know where I was, but gets battle res out, and I can kind of see the writing on the wall here, so I do not accept it, because there's no reason for me to try to fight the boss from 60% health. But that's okay. We regroup, we come back, and we kill the boss. Unfortunately, we missed time, but not a big deal. I would still rather finish the dungeon, even if we're a ways away, because just like this, we end up getting gear. So we get a decent upgrade here. Those are a huge upgrade. As well as 250 Warbound plate. So throw that in our war chest and keep going.
Does this take us from 247?
That lands us at 248 eye level and 1478 IO. We still need to knock out some more dungeons so that we can... Man, I'd really like to get this to 10. I feel like once we get to 10s, it's going to be easier to get people to join, because then you're breaking into that 10 minimum for mythic track gear. It bumps that all the way to 250. Does that put me to 250? I love it. It does. Next, we jump into this +8 Wind Runner Spire. I actually do a much better job this time of getting the mobs the hell out of the protective zone. So
Spell guards protection.
we just take a few steps back, keep doing damage. Good job, me. We end up killing the one boss way faster than the other. And in a relatively poor position here, I end up dying to the stun there. Not a big deal, it's at 1%. These guys end up killing it. Did have the mage go down. I don't know if he didn't have ice block or what. Who am I to say anything, though? So, next boss, Ember Dawn, goes down. Keep moving.
Intimidating shout.
Stack up for the shout here, and we end up losing one. Get the boss down, go upstairs, and you'd think I would have learned from this before, but once again, we go for the same feather, same arrow. I don't know what they are, feathers or arrows, but get B-res right back up, and we end up killing the boss here. No problem. +2 bumps that up to a 10 and puts us at 1534 IO.
As for myself, I shall fill these halls
Oh,
with
we got a 10.
until I return home.
Out with our academy.
Thank you, champions.
Complete the weekly here. Get our piece of hero loot. And we pull a plume, which is in fact a bis trinket for Windwalker. Went ahead and crafted a 272 Loa ring, which is bis for, I believe, all 3 specs on Monk right now. But going through this +4 seat, this is my first seat. No idea what the hell is going on here. I haven't even watched a video on this or any streamers play it. Of course, I walk right into that tentacle. Oh my god, I just got knocked. You're shitting me. Go to the next boss though, get them taken down, no problem, and we are on to the next. Still learning this dungeon here because this is my first time here. People are not doing a very good job of letting me get aggro before we start just dumping damage, and we are paying the price for it.
Eruption.
End up having a few deaths here, but we save it.
Abyssal enhancement. Abyssal enhancement.
Again, back over here on
Abyssal enhancement.
platform for the next boss. We are not doing a very good job of getting any kicks out, and I was not able to group up the mobs very well. We end up wiping to this. Not a huge deal, but kind of unfortunate.
Abyssal enhancement. Abyssal enhancement. Abyssal enhancement. Abyssal enhancement.
Okay.
Interrupt.
We end up clearing that area, get onto the boss, get him knocked down, and on to Lura, where we in fact do not do the best job of lining up our lines,
Disintegrate.
but it's okay.
Disintegrate.
We end up losing the healer here, and the rest of us are not very far behind. Feel like we have to try though, but we get the healer back up, and the DPS just, we're already too far behind on the health bars, so just go ahead, die, reset. We still have plenty of time to at least +1 this. Realistically, we still could have +2'd, but we end up with 17 deaths.
Tank here.
Grim Forest.
But that's it. We beat Lura. Expansion over. Puts us 1726 IO. Pull some boots out of this one. Again, not an upgrade. End up trading these off to the druid that was healing for us. A little thank you for the healers out there. Figured it was time. Our gear's getting decent enough that we can go through, start putting, especially as we're doing these 10s and above now, put in our sockets and get our enchants. That also got us our void core unlock, so now we can get our bonus rolls. Gas pull
One.
in here.
Welcome to Tank
Healing touch.
defensive.
It's kind of crazy when you start getting into the +10s. Picking up players actually is so much easier, especially like decent players, even though,
Deadly winds.
don't get me wrong, still run into some real goofballs.
Tank
But
defensive.
now that you're in the 10+ territory, you can start getting a lot of people that are over geared. I'm not typically taking like insane high gear and IO people. I'm just taking people, kind of whoever comes first.
Overpowering gust.
We end up filling up our roster with just people that want to run dungeons, whether they're doing it for weekly vault or
Mark.
actual IO. Again, I just kind of take whoever signs up reasonably first. I just try to make sure that we have a lust and a B-res.
Monotonous lecture.
Here you can see
Monotonous
this mage is absolutely pumping. Peaked at like 800k DPS, kind of settling into that 500 to 550k DPS. Crazy work.
Expulsion.
We end up losing our healer here,
Defensive.
and I am pretty much out of my defensives. We do still have HP pot And I can keep rotating, and I've got decent heals, so not a big deal. We end up getting our 10 Algathar Academy,
Debuff on you.
bumping us up to 1783. We also pull a two-handed 3 out of 6 hero weapon, which is pretty nice for us.
We'll upgrade that.
Unfortunate that we just put the enchant on our other weapon, and now we have to go spend the gold again to get it, but that's all right. So 1783, you can kind of see what we're looking at here for our dungeons that we've currently run. Again, this is, like I said, kind of where we're quickly building up IO, because we're getting just like huge key jumps on some of these dungeons. We go ahead, drop our... I dropped this Nexus point from an 11 to a 10 that we got last time, just because I thought I'd just rather keep doing the 10s. That was a mistake in my opinion. I should have just left it in 11. That way if it did go down, spoiler alert, it might. That way if it did go down, it would still stay above a 10 for those weekly chest people, but not a huge deal. You can see we've had some deaths here, and we're again having troubles with kicks.
Dark Prayer.
Getting through this, so we're not clearing lines. We're just trying to do damage. You can see the warlock standing in the back there with the circle to... There he goes, to get rid of some lines.
Clear.
Everybody ends up dying. And
Stay away from lines.
I almost get this boss all the way dead here. I'm pretty sure I could have if I wasn't a complete buffoon. But here we are. I am, and I die. So
Watch your step.
I should have just stayed in the middle and not even tried to clear any of the lines. But I thought, oh, I'm going to clear this triple line here that's right on top of this circle. And I died. So
Oh no, what was he?
that's on me. They vote to abandon. I wouldn't have, but we go again. So it goes down to a 9. At this point, I hadn't run a pit yet, so I just went ahead and joined a +2 Pit of Sauron just to go through and see kind of how the dungeon feels. We end up running through this no problem. We get the +3. This third boss does not
Cryoverse.
take very long to kill. It's not, I guess it's not really a boss, more of like a mini boss, but
Watch your step.
kind of interesting. But we get through that. We actually do get a little bit of IO. We get 170 rating, puts us to 1953. Not gonna use a bonus roll on that, because that seems like it would be silly, but at least we've completed every dungeon now. We are up to 1953, as I said. Time to start doing some stuff. So jump into a 10, my Mycira Cavern here. Get a decently big first pull here. We already popped Lust. See, we got the Demon Hunter kind of pumping there.
Orange.
Keep these bosses pretty well balanced out. You can see we're within a couple percent. He goes down. And we kill the bird. No issues. Get to the second boss here, and we're doing some really silly stuff here, running into the ghosts, and I don't know why, but we survive. It's not a big deal. We get through it. We end up not quite getting the boss killed before another intermission here. Not a big deal. We still have plenty of time. We just miss out on the +2. So run through, pop as many of these as we can, get CC'd. Tiger's Lust out of it. No issues. Finish it off. We actually get a mount here. We finish our +10 cavern. Pull shoulders out of it, which is a pretty decent upgrade for us. Enjoying Brewmaster? Yeah, it's all right. I'm being honest with you, I'm just kind of tanking because it's easier to get into keys and everything. Once I get to... I think I'm going to try to push for 3,400, but I think once I get to like baseline 10s, I might swap to Windwalker.
2, 1.
This is where I went ahead and threw my +9 Pit of Sauron in.
Dark Prayer.
Just want to go ahead and get through this. Get it back up to a 10. Not too worried about major timing it. Don't really care if it's plus 3. +2 would be nice to get us to an 11, but at least get this successfully knocked out to get back into 10s. Of course, we're flying through here. No issues. Getting all these knocked out.
Lord.
And of course, end up getting the +2. So perfect. That bumps us up to 2246. So we're climbing up here pretty quickly. Kind of crazy to think we're really not that far away from 3,400. Don't get me wrong. I understand like the last 1,000 IO is going to be insanely harder than the first 2,400 IO. But in reality, it's not all that far. Decided I wanted to go try to run some Windwalker keys and just see how Windwalker felt. I didn't want to jump into 10s or higher, so I thought I would just jump into some 5s where I knew I wasn't going to be a liability to anybody. One of my things is I hate wasting other people's times. I try to be very considerate of other people, their time, their goals, and make sure that we're not hindering other people. Oh no. Knock that out. That is actually a little bit of IO for us, so it bumps us up to 2284. Just wanted to go ahead, like I said, feel out the Windwalker monk. Oh, didn't feel like it was terrible. Interesting stuff. I'm not sure how I feel about Windwalker right now. All right, let's see what we pulled from the vault this last week. 272 chest. 1 out of 6 myth. That's kind of stinky. I mean, it's an intro to myth gear, but I probably really should have done at least one more 10 so that I could have had 2. I was afraid that would happen. Let's look at what we got gear wise. I think we're now we still have 1 trinket that's 224, but otherwise we are 250 plus in all of our slots. Well, I guess we take the chest piece, even though it's one of our higher eye level items. I think we just have to take it because it's myth track. I think even if we, 6 out of 6 veteran, I don't know if I even would have taken that trinket wise, but stinky. Oh well. We take it. Catalyze it. On we go. It's got avoidance too. I didn't even notice that. That's probably decent. I mean, we have enough charges now. I don't think it really matters because at this point we're just going. How much? I didn't see how much that changed my 56.